I haven't. I don't have my.
What's going on? There we go. What's going on, everybody? What's going on? We're gonna give people a second to rock in. We got some funky lighting going on over here. Don't worry, it's gonna be fine. You know, itself.
I like your Last Supper.
Oh yeah, you can see the vibe right there. That's a Last Supper and Tuskegee Airmen, right? So we got it going on both sides right there. This is that's been with me all my life. So I'm like, okay, all right, mom and daddy had that all right there. What's going on, everybody? We got a little bi-coastal vibe going on today. There's a lot going on. We'll talk about some things going on in New York City in a moment. But I wanted to really rock on LA first and foremost. Couldn't keep watching what's going on and just let it sit on the sidelines here. For those jumping in, Michael Blake, welcome to our page. You've seen us do this many times. We've done the Believe in Blake conversations with voters in the past. We'll do them more and more often when we talk about Kairos and this being our moment, our time, our season. This is what we're talking about right now. These moments where you got to be in the game and actually fight for the people. And I mean, shit. What's going on in LA is crazy right now. To watch it from a distance is it's really, really hard. Really hard to watch what's going on. People have been trying to understand what's happening. And I said, okay, before we do anything else, let's make it a point that we listen to leaders on the ground. And shout out to our team. Shout out to everybody on our team for making this happen. You always got to shout out the crew when you're making these vibes happen on IG, on X, all of our platforms. But we have a great champion here, Wendy Carrillo, who has been a blessing for years, served in the assembly, run for state senate. For many reasons, this makes sense. Latina, immigrant background, LA. I was really thinking that we needed to hear Wendy's voice before today, what I saw happen with Senator Padilla, but then even more of a reason why we need to hear your voice. Wendy, first, good to see you, my sister. I know you're busy right now. Good to see you.
Good to see you. It's just barely 5 p.m. Look at our beautiful sun is still shining.
That's it. We'll take that LA sun out here. And we got some conversation. We got some dog conversation. We like that right there. We like that. Okay.
I'm in Boyle Heights. That's where I was raised. It's my community. There are dogs everywhere.
That's what I'm talking about.
And they like to be on the live too.
Oh, hey, everybody's got to have a voice. Everybody's got to have a voice out here right now. Let's give some context first. Talk to the people. Tell them a little bit about you. Who is Wendy the person? And just give some of the bio, but beyond the bio, I always tell folks, tell us things we can't see in the bio, because it will really crystallize why your voice is necessary right now.
I'd love to. Thank you for having me on, and hello to all of your audience and everybody that's watching and supporting your campaign for mayor as well. A little bit about me. I came to the U.S. when I was 5 years old. My family fled the civil war in El Salvador. El Salvador is a country that we're talking about a lot nowadays too. Family had a slice of the American dream on the east side of Los Angeles, Boyle Heights and East LA. I'm the oldest of 5. I had the great privilege of becoming a resident under the amnesty policies of the 80s, and became a resident and worked my way to become and earn my citizenship. And so you can categorize me as one of the original dreamers, but I had an opportunity and a pathway. And because of that, I take that very seriously. And so, I ran for state assembly. I won. I served. I'm now running for state senate. I love my community. I love my family. I know what we are experiencing firsthand personally. That's all of the stuff that kind of drives us. But, I also love music and culture and art. And I think that, when we build a movement and we're talking about issues that impact so many families, all of that comes into play. It's how we feel. It's how we act. It's how we are. But most importantly, I think we all have an obligation and a responsibility to create the kind of society and country that we want. And it's not what we're seeing is a separation of a lot of different powers. And so, I'm moved and motivated by wanting to do good and by wanting to represent my community in the best ways and to be a voice and to amplify all the voices that already exist and need to see themselves in government as well.
Yeah. I mean, look, we can't keep watching what's happening. Not just now. I mean, the Trump chaos will exhaust all of us, and I think that's part of the strategy, right? But like we should be hopeful about what's happening in politics, not just angry about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is why it's so important to make sure we're engaged. Seeing love in the chat. Shout out to Jasmine Sanchez, President Baruch Houses. District leader candidate, soon to be a district leader in Lower East Side. Dr. Franz Whitfield out of Iowa. We see you out here. Much love all day. So talk to us about what's going on. We're watching it on TV. It's really hard to internalize the magnitude of it all. Sequence, anecdotes, experiences, like what is actually happening on the ground. We hear about curfews, tear gas. I mean, we're seeing all the wild shit happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on the ground? Are there specific neighborhoods that are even more impacted than others? Then we'll get to Senator Padilla today and that craziness. But let's talk about what's happening right now on the ground.
California is a big state, 40 million people. Los Angeles County is the biggest in California. The city of Los Angeles is the second largest in the country. LA County alone has 10 million residents. It is larger than 40 other states in the country. And so when I think of the why would Trump want to target California the level that he's targeting it at? And it makes me think of the power and resilience of the people of Los Angeles and how you can go anywhere in the world in LA. It's a majority Latino population, but we have people from all over the world in Los Angeles. And so when you send the National Guard, when you send the Marines against our own American citizens, it's a problem. And it's about, the destruction of our Constitution, our civil rights, our civil liberties, our due process. The raids, we haven't seen anything like this since the 80s when raids were common practice back then. I was at the first rally in the afternoon of the day that the raids started, and I went down to the federal building, and I was with the families and with the attorneys trying to get access into the federal building to see their loved ones. And I saw their constitutional rights being denied, their due process being denied, people being detained without a warrant. We see masked individuals, allegedly they're ICE, but we don't know. And we don't know because we can't see their faces. We can't see their badges. They don't have warrants. We can't see their names. And they are literally abducting people off the street and throwing them into unmarked vans. And we're supposed to be okay with that. We're not. And for the most part, the protests have been very peaceful. And just like anything else that you see across the country, whenever there's a celebration of a big sports team that won some kind of recognition and award, yeah, there's folks that, commit crime and we don't support any of that. That's not what the protests are about. But it's now being escalated. And I think for you in New York and everywhere else, you think that LA is burning. It's not. The city of Los Angeles and where the protests have taken place around City Hall, around the federal building, they're all next to each other. So it's about a few blocks. Everything else is peaceful. And so there's this idea that LA is burning. It's not. But we are, of course, we'll continue to protest and we'll continue to fight for our civil liberties and due process and right to answers. And there's a lot of people that are scared. I live in a community of Boyle Heights and on the east side of Los Angeles. And there was the ICE vehicles in this community, which we haven't seen in decades. And it's very scary for a lot of people. And, you know, first it was like, oh, Trump is going to target criminals and all these bad hombres, right? No, he's targeting everyday, hardworking people, folks that are going to graduations because it's graduation season right now. Targeting graduations, a time in which it should be such a celebratory event for so many young people, especially first generation Americans and their parents who are so extremely proud, but they're walking away with a traumatic experience. And this is the America that they're going to inherit. And I think a lot of us are resisting that and will continue to do so.
So just to crystallize it, where exactly in LA is everything happening that we're seeing on TV?
So it's actually in the Senate district that I'm running to represent in the area that I grew up in. So I'm in Boyle Heights, and you see in all these movies, these bridges that connect the east side to downtown Los Angeles, about a 5-7 minute drive to City Hall. So if you Google City Hall, you'll see the federal building literally a block away. You'll see the 101 freeway, which you see, you know, these photos of people overtaking the freeway. You'll see Olvera Street, which is the first street within the founding of Los Angeles. It is literally about 4 blocks in downtown LA, concentrated around City Hall. In front of City Hall, there's also this beautiful big green space called Grand Park, and that's where a lot of the very peaceful protests, the vigils, the prayers, the rally for our brother David Huerta from SEIU, California, who was detained and also arrested and detained and also sent to the hospital. There was a rally for his freedom, and he was released recently. All of that took place around the same area. So LA County is huge. The city of Los Angeles is huge. And so this is just a few blocks.
And so, you know, in the spirit of future vision, right? You're running for Senate. Why?
I'm running for Senate because I believe the way in which California responds to the current administration is critical in protecting healthcare, housing, services, protecting our safety net. It's a job that I know well. It's a job that I think we need courageous, bold leadership to be able to respond to a crisis, but also plan for our future. And so there's the current moment that we are experiencing and what we get to do and how we get to act and what we need to pressure the administration on and how we work together to do that. And then there's also forward thinking. How do we move forward from what is currently happening today, and how do we plan for the future? You know, I believe in Indigenous teaching that we should all be planning for the next 7 generations and not just for ourselves in this moment. And so that's what we need. That's what we need to pivot to be able to achieve all of the incredible milestones that California is leading on, right? So it's like renewable energy, infrastructure, housing, healthcare access for undocumented people and our seniors and our most vulnerable. We've done all those things. And because of the attacks from the federal government, we are now putting more people at risk and in jeopardy with potentially HUD programs and housing vouchers and Section 8 housing being eliminated completely. We already have a homelessness crisis. We don't need more people on the street. We need to keep them safe, especially our seniors, our people with disabilities, and our most vulnerable communities. And that's why I'm running, because I believe lived experience matters. And we need to also be unafraid and unapologetic about facing a tyrant who wants to completely disregard the Supreme Court as well as the Constitution. And, you know, I took an oath, just like you did when you served, to protect your state, your country from those that want to inflict conflict, whether foreign or domestic, right? And that's what we're seeing right now, is a domestic threat to the type of country that we all believe in, but most importantly, our constitutional rights. And that, I think, is at stake at every level at the moment. And so you mentioned Senator Alex Padilla and what happened to him just earlier today. The Secretary of Homeland Security, Kristi Noem, is in my backyard, literally. And so right now, maybe you're hearing the faint sounds of an ice cream truck passing my neighborhood. Earlier, it was just police sirens. as folks are, traumatized about what's happening right now. And just again at the federal building, just a few miles from where I live by City Hall, the secretary was doing a press conference feeling very proud of picking up random people off the streets. And Senator Padilla was in the building and decided to pay her a visit, and actually declared coming in, "I'm Senator Alex Padilla." And he was tackled by law enforcement and removed from that particular room, and cuffed in front of his staff, in front of press, in front of others. And now there's calls for her resignation, as well as the resignations of those law enforcement agents, Secret Service. I don't know what they are. And if that can happen to a sitting U.S. senator, and these are the words of the senator himself, imagine what is being done to our most vulnerable, to cooks, to farm workers, to day laborers, to folks that really rely on our safety net and make our economy and our society thrive and move. And so what's happening is very real, and I think people need to wake up.
1,000%. Look, I think the
there goes the ice cream truck.
No, that's real. Look, I was outside earlier. I had the Mr. Softy truck going by, so I understand. When he said that, I thought about that. I thought about when I was in the assembly. We had a family day. Cops grabbed me, tossed me against the gate, and then another cop said, "Get off of him! Don't you recognize who he is?" And I said to them, well, "What would have happened if you didn't recognize who I was?" And it's that same kind of vibe, right? Where it's like, right. My name and my title shouldn't lead to me having a level of justice that someone else can't get. And so in this moment, is the curfew still in place? Like what is still happening on the ground? And what are the groups that we could support on the ground? Because people are watching, but they want to know how to be helpful.
Yeah. So the curfew, again, is only for that area that I mentioned. It's not all of LA. It's not all of downtown. It is within the certain area, perimeter around City Hall and around the federal buildings in which people are mobilizing in. And so also to not block the freeway access. It's currently from 8 p.m. to 6 in the morning until things kind of settle down. But with, the National Guard here and the Marines here, I don't know if things are going to settle down anytime soon with the continued abductions by alleged members of ICE. And I say that allegedly because we don't know who they are. They don't show their faces. They don't show their badges. They don't show their names. It could be random people, for all I know, in unmarked vehicles. In any other scenario, you will call that abduction, right? Like, imagine if you are on the street or you're in your car with your family, because this happened in my community as well. Federal agents in unmarked vehicles accosted another vehicle, shot at it, and then abandoned the scene because maybe they had the wrong person. And now the Los Angeles Police Department is launching an investigation as to what happened in that particular case. But they were allegedly ICE. And so this is happening. And I understand. You can understand people's frustrations, their fear, their anger, their resentment, but also their hope for something better. And that's why they're marching, and that's why they're showing up, and that's why we will continue to do so. And my plea to our community members is that we know who the difference between agitators that want to create chaos and want to create violence, and that is exactly falling into what Trump wants. And we also know the families that are pleading for something different and that want to protect their communities. And so I'm also calling on all allies, right? Like, everyone needs to show up to what's happening right now, because guess what? Immigrants are the low-hanging fruit. It's very easy to blame immigrants for all the problems. But once you're done with immigrants, who's next? And the fact that they are also detaining U.S. citizens at this moment is very real, and it is happening. And so this isn't just about criminals who are here undocumented or without status. The fact that U.S. citizens are also being detained, that their IDs or their passports are not being considered as real documents. And we've seen those videos as well in Alabama and in other states that this is happening. We all need to pay attention to that.
Well, I know there is so much going on the ground, and so much going on with your campaign. I'm just grateful that you answered the call. You know,
yeah, and I'm sorry, Blake, you did ask me what are the organizations to support. So I will say CHIRLA, the Coalition for Humane Immigrant Rights, and their organization is being targeted by the Trump administration as well, because they're allegedly helping criminals. But CHIRLA is an incredibly well-respected organization, and a shout out to Angelica Salas, who has been the head of that organization and leading this movement for quite some time. Garesen, the National Immigration Law Center, so many organizations, faith-based groups like PICO and others that are doing incredible work in channeling our faith-based leaders in this movement as well, because that is necessary. We all need to ground ourselves and remind ourselves to take care of ourselves and each other, and so many groups. But those are the ones here on the ground that are responsible for the Rapid Response Network, as well as ways in which they can get some legal support, including from like the ACLU and some other groups.
For those that need to hear it one more time, give it the organizations one more time so they can hear it and they can find it.
CHIRLA, Garesen, National Immigration Law Center, the ACLU. Connect with faith-based groups like PICO, PICO California. Those are the ones that I can think of off the top of my head at this moment. But there are so many others on the ground that are doing some amazing work. And this is just for LA, but I'm sure, on the national level, there are similar organizations wherever you're looking at, wherever you're seeing this feed right now. And I would also say this, like, look, social media is great, but it also spreads a lot of misinformation, and people are easy to post on any platform. I think I just saw this, or I think this is happening, or, I sustained at this hotel. And let's not spread fear and hysteria. Let's make sure that we are keeping our community safe, that if you do want to get involved, you get connected locally with your local leaders, because the folks in LA are very different than the folks up in Sacramento or Fresno or Central California or in another state or in New York. So it all varies, but it's important that we stay calm, that we don't spread misinformation, that we don't add to the hysteria, and that we know our rights. And our rights are clearly defined by the Constitution. You have a right to stay silent. You have a right to due process and see a judge. You have a right to an attorney. You don't need to sign anything. You don't need to say anything. You don't need to open your door. You can talk to somebody while not opening your door. You don't need to invite them in, especially if they don't identify themselves and they don't have a warrant. If you're a small business owner and you own a restaurant, ICE is able to go into the public areas of your restaurant, like where people are sitting down. But in your kitchen or in other areas, you should have a sign that says employees only, private area. That would mean that any ICE agent or law enforcement that comes in needs to have a warrant to be able to access a private area in your business. This is very important, especially if there are folks that are scared of the current situation.
To your point of too often people are just seeing something on social, not getting all the information. You have dropped so many gems here that you have empowered people, not just in LA, but across the country, to support you all. And it's one of the many reasons why you need to be elected to the state Senate, right? Because you're
my friend.
You're being a blessing and fighting for the people right now. And so, Wendy, I'm just grateful for you always. My gratitude is immense for you. And how can people find you and support you?
I'm very easy to find. Early as an elder millennial, got access to all the platforms with my name. So I'm on social with my name, Wendy Carrillo. And wendycarrillo.com is my website as well to access. And history has I'll end with this, but history has a way in which it repeats itself. And someone wrote many years ago, they wrote, terrible things are happening outside. At any time, night and day, poor, helpless people are being dragged out of their homes. Families are being torn apart. Men, women, and children are being separated. Children come from school to find their parents have disappeared. That was written by 13-year-old Anne Frank on January 13th, 1943, in the diary of a young girl. And so that particular passage in her book is relevant today. And if you're asking, how did that happen? Then you're seeing it right now. And if there's an immigrant family, an undocumented family, a mixed status family that's asking for your help, you need to ask yourself what you would have done then and what would you do now? Because it is happening. And so we are living in a militarized state in Los Angeles. I want to, say thank you to our military servicemen, to the Marines, because it is not their job to fight against our own American citizens, but they are being sent here by a president who wants to be king and who wants to throw himself a parade that's going to cost millions of dollars with our military on his birthday because he thinks himself king. That is not the founding of this nation, and no one should think that that is okay. And so in this moment, you have to ask yourself, what kind of nation, what kind of country do you want to live for those that come, that you want to leave for those that come after you? And what kind of country do you want to live in? Because it is changing, and it is changing dramatically, and it is happening in real time.
You went from Anne Frank to what's going on in the community to Latino organizations. I mean, the brilliance was exemplified in moments there. So to everybody that's meeting her for the first time, this is not the first time you're gonna. This won't be the last time you hear from her. Wendy Carrillo, who has served in the Assembly in California, running for state Senate, able to give you perspective what's going on the ground. We stand with you and with the families of LA, and we're grateful for you. I know you have so much you have to do, so it means a lot to me that you took time to rock with us tonight.
Thank you for having me, and I hope we get to do it again soon. I know
Absolutely.
there's stuff going on in New York as well, so we're in solidarity with you as well.
Absolutely. No question.
All right.
Blessings. All right, everybody. So appreciate y'all been showing us love, seeing me on the street, asking me about the debate, asking us about what's going on with the campaign, all the things that are going on. Grateful for the love. Grateful for the folks that are stopping me in elevators or at restaurants and just wanted to ask questions. People ask me like about tonight. I made very clear, look, the public rules, the public guidelines said ranking when it comes to raising. When it comes to matchable donations, the CFB had an agreement that said it had to be raised by. We weren't aware of that. You live and you learn. My voice should be there, but we keep working and we keep working and we will do that until June 24th and beyond. And so the issues are still there. When we talk through what's going on and gearing up and getting ready, everybody, we want to keep hearing from you. Earlier tonight, I spoke at the Rent Guidelines Board meeting in the Bronx, saying, when you have 27.9% poverty rate in the Bronx, we can't increase rent right now. We got to freeze the rent, protect our tenants. We got to help our seniors. We have to help those that are disabled, make sure that the programs for rent income exemptions are being protected. We have to think through 1,000 mental health professionals actually addressing what's going on our subways and our streets. I saw this brother yesterday was standing on the off-ramp over by 135th, clearly in need of help. Doesn't need to be arrested, but he needs help. When we think through local median income and the necessity of that, the necessity of ending credit scores and increasing income limits when it comes to housing applications. These are the moments that exist to really change the game for us as a people and to do this well and to do this right. And so we're asking that you rock with us. Shout out again, Three Bridges Democratic Club, for seeing the vision, for all the different people that have been endorsing us. Che Osei, Emily Gallagher, Julia Salazar, just to name a few, Gustavo Rivera, Carmen De La Rosa earlier today, George Alvarez, Engage Action, Three Bridges Democratic Club, Jim Owls Democratic Club, Citizen Action of New York. We're showing people what's possible. So as a reminder for those that are still learning right now, again, this is that moment that exists. So there's 11 candidates on the ballot. You can rank up to 5 of us. I want to be your first choice. I'm the 9th name on the ballot. I want to be your first choice. Again, Michael Blake, running for mayor June 24th. I want to be your first choice. If I'm not your first choice, I want to be your second choice. If I'm not your second choice, I want to be your third choice. You get the drift right now. Now, the way it works is the lowest vote getter gets knocked out, and then the votes that they have acquired, the voter's second choice then gets that vote. So that means if you are voting for Whitney Tilson or Jessica Ramos, Paperboy Prince, Zelnor Myrie, Adrian Adams, Scott Stringer, Brad Lander, Zohran Mamdani, Andrew Cuomo, if that's your first choice, I want to be your second choice. And we want to keep reminding people of that education that's happening here. If I'm not your second choice, I want to be your third choice, but make sure that we're on your 5 to be in the game and to be able to change the game with you. Early voting starts Saturday, everybody. Many places around New York City. Early vote locations are not necessarily the same ones as June 24th. So please make it a point to go and find your polling site so you know exactly where to go vote. Early voting from the 14th to the 22nd. Then it's so critical, June 24th being primary day. So just want to show y'all love. Just want to show you love. You show me love. I'm grateful for you. And we're just going to keep pressing. So if you want to volunteer, we have offices happening all over New York City. If you want to volunteer with us, you see the link in the chat. Please, BlakeForNYC.com/volunteer. Shout out to Bree and the crew, the immediate swipe. I like that right there. So we whether it be staffing us at events, coming into the office, making phone calls, knocking on doors, doing visibility, we need you right now. Again, we're asking if you have any time. Subway visibility in the morning, subway visibility at night, during morning and even the rush hours. There's ways for you to be involved, and we're looking for your help right now. Again, it could be an hour, it could be a day, it could be a few days, whatever the timing may be. We are asking for you to be a part of what we are building right here across the city. When we think about how we have to talk to more people, and we want to make it very clear to more people about the vision we have of Tomorrow Begins Today. If you didn't see earlier today, Daily News, I shared my op-ed in the Daily News around my vision for the city, coming off of a great piece earlier this week in the New York Times about the 10 questions that they asked me. I'm still amazed that more people still ask me about ketchup on bacon, egg, and cheese on cinnamon raisin. I got more questions about that than anything else right there. Yes, I put ketchup on it. It's going to be okay. You are going to be okay that I put ketchup on my cinnamon raisin. Just trust me. Just trust me. Just trust me. It's going to be all right. But check it out. Check it out in the Daily News op-ed earlier today from us. Check out the New York Times earlier this week. Tell people the story and the narrative of what we're building out. You will see us across the city over the next few days, of course, as we get ready for June 24th. Blessings and honor to the late Charlie Rangel. His homegoing services on tomorrow. Blessings to his family. Give them encouragement, give them love, give them protection. We are still, everybody, fundraising continues. There's still a lot of bills, a lot of things to be building out here. And so I'm asking you, please, if you will, go to our website, BlakeForNYC.com, make a donation. Anything you can do, 25, 50, 100, 250, whatever it may be, because there's a lot going on. As you hear me again, you can rank up to 5 people. That means we got to talk to people consistently. So that'd be on social media, whether it be on TV, whether it be on radio, whether it be literature. We need you to please help us. And I'm asking anything that you can do, everyone watching around the country, support us as we're building this coalition right now. $10, $50, $100, anything up to $2,100. If you are not doing business with New York City, the most you can donate is $2,100. If you're doing business with New York City, the most you can do is $400. I am asking anything that you can do, do it right now. Help us as we get ready to kick this off, because early voting starts on Saturday, everybody. We need even the lights trying to tell you, the lights trying to send you a message. Donate, donate, donate right there. But again, if there's anything else, please let people know about our vision, on what we're building and how we're working and how we're trying to tell the story about something different and special right here. So if you have not Go onto our IG, go onto the X, see the different debate clips. Everyone from New York Times, Daily News, New York Post, all said we were the breakout debate winner. We should have been on stage tonight, but you know what? 2 hours won't define our destiny. We got work to do, and we're ready to do that. And you all been showing us a lot of love, and we're going to keep building. So join with us. Let us know what's going on in your offices, what's going on in your community. There are races happening all over the city. It's not just mayors, mayor, public advocate, comptroller, borough president, city council, district leaders. Shout out to Jasmine. I see you out here, Jasmine Sanchez. We need you. We're looking for you. Ready to see what's going on. Let me take a quick look. I know folks were talking to me about some of the commentary going on at the debate. People not really feeling some of the things happening right now. I love that. I like to trade Tilson for Blake, please. Okay, I'm down with that. I'm down with that. Omiki, I see you out here. I'm down with those vibes. We can do a trade out here. Let's see. Cuomo laughing on stage about the death toll. All right, Cuomo, he's never dealt with the city council. He's never dealt with Congress. Mamdani, I've never resigned in disgrace. Never hounded 13 women. Okay, that's kind of what I dropped last week. This is there's some fascinating things going on out here. Illegal immigrants. The rhetoric they're saying right now. Subway cleaners being cheated out of pay. It seems like people are just going ham right now, one by one. To that degree. Continual reminder about what's been said about the women. Let's honor their voices. Let's honor their voice. Let's honor their voice. Shout out to Eric Swalwell. Just saw your text, bro. I know you're handling business when it comes to Padilla, and now the Iran stuff is wild. I just saw that news as well. Let me check that. Blessings to the families who lost someone from the Air India crisis. Very, very, very sad. Very, very sad. All right, watching the footage right now. Breaking news: Israel launching an attack on Iran. Okay. All right. This has gone real. Israel saying it's a preemptive strike against Iran, declared a state of emergency. All right. So look, everybody, this is another one of those moments where we tell people who you have in office matters. Right. And when I talk about my White House experience under President Obama, not this pseudo dictator in Trump, right? My assembly experience in the state assembly, my local experience. This is what makes me ready for this moment in time. And so these are very treacherous times right now. We want people to understand the magnitude of what's going on and to not be silent at all. We don't have the luxury to be silent. So with that, love you. Grateful for you. Let's get back out there. Let's get back to work. Let's get back to knocking on doors and making phone calls. Again, we need you, everybody. Volunteers, come on, holler at us, everybody. You're willing to volunteer. You're willing to knock on doors. You're willing to make phone calls. We need you. G, oh, much love, my sister. Good to see you yesterday. Everything y'all doing for us in LES. We're gonna surprise some folks. We're gonna surprise some folks. I have been counted out many a times, and we still stand. And we still stand. We're ready for doing this right now. Let's get to work, everybody. Again, early voting starting Saturday, June 14th to the 22nd, primary day, the 24th. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. Let's get to work. My name is Michael Blake. Tomorrow begins today. Holla back. Let's go.